having some fun out here on Stadium Court. Are you ready?
I got to get ready. I got to get ready. The sun is coming out. The balls are flying in hot here on Stadium Court. Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Barnett alongside Cameron Irwin. Here we are, actually on the court here in Huntington Beach. The men are going to take the stand in just a moment. Logan Webber, maybe he's the next Phil Dalhausser. We don't know. Can he steal the crown right now?
Oh, that's going to be a good question. Phil Dalhausser, one of the all-time greats in this sport. We're going to get a chance to see what he can do alongside Avery Drost. They already had a match today, and we saw them in 3-set action, and it was pretty tough against Brewster and Friend. It'll be interesting to see exactly how far they can go in the contenders bracket.
I'm going to see if I can not burn while we're down here.
Just add a few more freckles.
Some of us haven't been out in the sun very long. I like this. Is it a surprise that Phil is here? I don't know. We'll see. We're going to talk to Phil maybe mid-match. We have a unique match planned for you here. Let's get to Mark Sherman for player introductions, and we'll get going again here on Stadium. Where's Mark?
I don't know. Let's find him. Mark Sherman, where are you at, man?
Ready to go here on Stadium Court. Both these teams have already played and won here on Stadium Court. Yesterday, Smith and Webber. This morning, Dalhausser Drost. They'll need another one to stay alive in Huntington. First up, they are the number 4 seed. This first guy coming out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Cincinnati Christian University. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for the blocker, Mr. Logan Webber. And his partner, the guy with the hair. And he does not get his hair from his dad. I know that. I definitely know that. Out of UCLA, out of Pacific Palisades, let me hear it for Hagen Smith. And their opponents right back here again on Stadium Court here on this Saturday in Huntington. Coming out of Redlands, California, and Westmont College, it's Avery Drost. And his partner out of Orlando, Florida, Central Florida University, he is the Philip Dalhausser.
I think I'm covered in sunscreen, Cameron. I think we're ready here to enjoy it from courtside. Hope you, the fans, are ready to get the view from right on the sand. We're practically on the playing surface here.
I think we are on the playing surface here. Kev, I think you should throw on one of those yellow T-shirts and become one of the
volunteers?
Ball boys.
Yeah. You can volunteer over there. Got to return the sunscreen from DJ Jeremy Roche, a fixture here on the AVP. 21st season for him. And the 42nd season for Phil Dalhausser. Service right down the middle and immediately from Hagen Smith. And there's Phil still doing Phil things.
See, and this is the best angle to watch the beach volleyball from, because now you can just see exactly how high that contact point is being down here, sand level.
I thought the right side was the best angle, but
no, that's only on the podcast.
Hang on. The next match is about to come in, and there has to be a correction here. I know we're early in the match. Kelly Cheng is here to give me a raft of grief for yesterday. Kelly, I may have offended some video game people.
You absolutely did. You offended me specifically and the entire video game community.
I'm sorry. What was the mistake that I made?
I think you called my favorite game Odie. I think you said as I was watching the stream, and I immediately texted you. It's called Ori in the Blind Forest.
Okay.
It's a great game. Check it out.
Clarification.
The disrespect. I mean,
you using a dog from Garfield versus the actual game that you play.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm sorry about that. You're down here getting ready for your next match, right?
We play at 4.
Oh, so you're just down here to practice.
Yeah, we came out, did a little serve and pass, have a quick interview, and then we're going to go back and chill until we'll be back.
Yeah, that's an interesting flow to the day.
A little different. We were just joking. We were like, we have no clue what you guys are referring to over there.
It's nerd time over here.
We're in our own world over here, Sarah.
Educate Sarah, and we're working on it.
Okay, well, I have you, Sarah. Thank you. I have to give you a massive hug and a huge congratulations, because you are officially going to be an Olympian. I saw the video online. You got a chance to tell your family. What was that moment like? How did you set all of that up?
It was so special. I mean, after we had our 12 tournaments and it was, you know, mathematically set that we were going, we just have a family dinner every Sunday, and I decided, I was like, I'm just going to set up my phone. They had no idea, and I'm going to tell them. And I went up in front of them and just started talking and started bawling my eyes out. And everyone was so excited, and it made for a really special moment.
Well, and then earning that world champs, that was one of the wildest things ever. What was that journey like? And that last final was one of the best that I've ever seen. What was the mentality heading into that final?
You know, Kelly and I knew we had to play our best volleyball against that team. That is one of the best teams in the world, and we love fighting against them. So Kelly and I went out there, knew we had to be aggressive, play together, and we were really in the flow, and it was very fun.
Gosh, watching that last and final point, the celebration from you guys was probably one of the best. I mean, do you practice those moments? Because that one was pretty epic.
Honestly, we were so excited. I get so excited. I kind of just seem to tackle Kelly, so she's great at taking it, and it is so much fun. I love celebrating on the court with her. It's truly the best.
Can you get a little commentary here about Hagen's hat? Does anyone have an opinion on the hunting hat that he has?
10 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Do you have a problem with it?
No. Will you wear one? If we got you a hunting hat, would you go hunting hat?
I'm a visor girl. I've tried hats, and it's like, it's too hot.
Oh.
I don't think I could compete in that.
I didn't think anyone could.
I like it. I mean, it's that or like a ponytail for him, right? Like, he's gotta keep all that hair back somehow.
Yeah, he does look like an 80s romance novel model. That's what he looks like.
Start calling him Fabio.
Look, he's wearing a rash guard. You gotta let those muscles out with the hair and the hunting. Yeah.
It's a little a la Stafford Slick. Am I wrong?
Oh,
We
Stafford
missed
Slick, great call.
Stafford. Yeah, he kind of is going after that look.
Yeah, Stafford's retreated to a lake in Minneapolis or Minnesota somewhere. We're not sure.
Actually, if there was a lake in San Diego, that's actually where he'd be.
He's a Minnesota guy.
I know, but he's located in San Diego now, man.
Okay, all right, my bad. Well, ladies, good luck this evening. Thanks for joining us for a little bit, and thank you for the correction. All right, Ori in the blind forest. Okay. All right, back to action here on Stadium, and that is Hagen Smith getting thrown back, covering himself. Exceptional play. Second roll shot, that one picked up by Drost, and just could not get ahead of the point on the other side of the net. A lot of work done by Hagen Smith for that winner.
Doesn't get the call. It's 5-5. Billy Hagen to serve.
Nice little visit with the Olympians there.
Yeah, the athletes are all going to be on their toes now that they realize we have roaming live mics.
Yeah, watch out. If you wander through Stadium, you might be accosted by two individuals.
The best part is they have no idea. Speaking of being accosted, I think Avery Drost was.
That's another big move. Hey, we saw that in our last one by Lexi Denneberg, right? These big moves at the net, this time by Logan Weber. Is this the thinner beast? Is that what Logan Weber is attempting to go for here?
I don't know. You got the weights?
Dude, we know that Hagen's been going to the weight room. He's just got to see if he can get a guest pass for Logan. Another good move. Just missed it.
Avery. 6-6.
This is a nice view. I wonder whose seats we stole. There actually are courtside seats you can purchase to be right down on the sand.
There's labels on the back, and they definitely do not say our name.
Hagen Smith, right side. He'll get a nice high set. Opportunity to set up Phil Dalhausser right in front of him. Phil will stay there and cannot get a hold of Logan Weber on the return.
You better be able to pick up some of that trash because, my goodness, playing against Phil Dalhausser, you just know that ball is coming back your direction, and understanding that there should be no panic when that ball comes back on your side. You're going to have to recycle. You're going to have to recover time and time again against Phil Dalhausser in that block. If you're lucky enough to, that is.
These two guys here, Smith and Weber, look like they just parked a Kubota somewhere and just wandered onto the sand.
I mean, Hagen scoops enough. It's like an excavator.
Hagen's an interesting guy, right? Cutting his own path through the sport. Of course, famous father, St. John Smith, and then Hagen, an exceptional career at UCLA, running the 6'2", alongside Micah Ma'a, who is going to join the Olympian ranks coming up in Paris on the indoor side as Kelly Cheng and Sarah Hughes continue to chat here courtside. Enjoy their time.
look to the quarterfinals, and that's what's coming up.
But he's cutting his own path here, and I talked to St. John Smith yesterday during their first match about his time spent with Hagen. He said, yeah, Hagen asked me to come out sometimes, and he's very clear with me what the expectations are, what he wants from me. And he's like, and St. John said, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. That way, St. John isn't just pontificating on things and Hagen's getting aggravated.
It's a smart play by Hagen.
Dad, here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to say. Here's what our team needs.
Your boys do that with you? Your boys do that with you?
Reese sometimes will listen to me, sometimes not. Max doesn't care about volleyball. Tough serve from Hagen Smith, and that's a winner.
If you're picking up an ace against Phil Dalhausser and the length of that platform, you're doing something right.
Phil coming off a dinosaur performance of his own. You've heard us mention that with Taylor Crabb, but Phil playing alongside Rob DeSantis, no relation to the governor. Phil said, I wasn't that interested at first, and then we started talking about the arrangement and got more interested. It was a really good time. Said he had a blast playing in the tournament, and he's picked up some stock in a startup as partial compensation. He's hoping that works out.
That's one way to pick up some stock.
It could be the most valuable partnership Phil Dalhausser's ever put together. He won't know for a few years.
I'm more curious, what would you rather have in the dyno? Somebody like Phil, a blocker, or would you have somebody like Taylor that can scatter around the court?
For
defend?
me?
Yeah.
Right now? Or like me before?
Just in general.
I would put Phil up in front of me.
Okay.
Because look, if actual Kevin, not broken down old Kevin, is out there with Phil, we're going to side out every time. We're not going to play much defense if I have to play defense, but we're definitely going to side out.
I didn't even think you knew what defense was.
No. As I've said, I'm just waiting to hit. Let's be clear. Never played defense. I just waited to hit. All right, 9-10 here. Smith and Weber. Opportunity to maybe make a run. Jump serve coming. Logan Weber.
I like that quiet platform from Avery.
There's another strong move from Logan.
Hey, Kev, we got a problem. The owner of this seat is actually here.
I don't care about that pink ticket she's showing us.
I better
How many? 1 or 2? Wait, you need all 3 seats? We only have 2. Sorry, Cam, you're gonna have to stand.
I'm here
Here,
for
Cameron, have a chair.
It's all you, Kevin. You got those old rickety knees, man.
Oh,
You need
that's
that
not
chair.
nice. That's not nice. All right, 11-10 technical timeout. Smith and Weber with the lead. Avery Drost, what adjustments are you going to make?
I think Logan's making a big move into the angle, and I got to be aware of how far he can reach. Got to keep Phil involved in the game with a good pass, gets across the court, and got to keep coming up with some creative ways to serve tough from this side.
Okay, right on. Avery Drost down 1 here in this first set.
Do they also have White Claw more than 0% in the rear guard?
Technically, she had seat 3, and I was in seat 4, so you should have given her your seat.
Well, you gave her your seat. You can have mine. I'm a gentleman, Cameron. Come on. You know what? Never mind. Come on. We'll just go half and half. Come on. We'll squeeze in on the chair.
I go stand.
Here.
We're set.
I can get you like a blow-up chair from the musical chairs competition.
You know, it's always interesting when you think about this partnership with Avery and Phil. Phil's obviously used to having partners that see 90% of the side-out game. Maybe he gets 1, maybe 2 his direction. But for Avery, this is a really big task. Anytime you're playing alongside Phil Dalhausser. Got a chance to do it all last year.
If people wonder what Phil's up to regularly, he's coaching in an academy scenario, beach volleyball. They have a couple of courts down there in combination with the community, and having the opportunity to give back to the game and have some exposure to the game for folks that maybe wouldn't. And Phil talked a lot about the expenses that are involved in club volleyball these days when he and I were chatting a couple days ago. And he said it's nice to not have to raise fees constantly, charge the same fee, and give a quality product to the next generation.
Thinking about what it would be like to be coached by some of these guys, right? You think of Jake Gibb and what he's been doing on the sands as a coach, and not to mention Reed Pretty.
Yeah, Spiker Beach volleyball, right?
Yeah.
In sand.
Even April Ross putting on the coach's hat last year at the AVP ranks, coaching Betsy.
And coaching at Concordia.
As well.
Yeah. Right, we're seeing a lot of the established stars over the last 15 years stepping into that elder statesman or stateswoman role.
A name was tossed out there this morning at coffee. Maybe Rosie gets into the coaching ranks. Taylor was complimenting on just his volleyball mind, and it's crazy to watch it how it works.
Yeah, and Taylor Crabb getting in there as well. He's set up a non-profit. Another nice dig. That time a little check down, looking to the line, but it's just long. They're one of the best rallies of this match as we get a little past the midway point.
That was a heck of a dig from Avery. Right there, the scoop. The out-of-system set so close, but knowing they have to add pressure just a bit too long on that last contact.
And they go right back to Avery again here, right side against Weber. Said he had to recognize how long Logan is. Pushes that one over the top.
Interesting court position. Hagen's got his feet on the service line. Actually, almost both of them do now. Walking in, it reminds me of Nick Lucena. Remember Nick Lucena's passing preparation?
It's a great call.
Kind of got themselves reset and back into it. I like kind of taking a couple steps before reception. It makes my feet move before the ball comes my way.
Yeah, I like receiving everything forwards. It's so difficult receiving to go backwards. Nice, Drost almost got there. I like receiving everything forward of me rather than having to react and back up, pass the ball, and then come back forward. You do leave yourself a little vulnerable if somebody's going to cut the serve effectively.
Seems like everyone's kind of got their own rhythm, right? I also think of April Ross and what she used to do with her arms, right? Before reception, she always had them kind of out wide of her body. It was almost as if that trailing arm would then come and secure her platform.
Avery checks down this time, cuts it hard with a little bit of pace.
Yeah, and I really like that. That's a deceptive swing right there as he comes across, keeps those shoulders into the line and really brings that ball back across his body, forcing Weber to stay back towards the line as a blocker.
Yeah, I think in our last match we saw a lot of shots that were a little bit passive. You were arcing it to a spot. You were being soft with the ball. Here, very direct. Same shot idea, but very direct. A little bit of pace on it. I think is much more effective. You used to see Nick Lucena drop the ball off the heel of his hand, much like that, but with even more downward trajectory and close to the net. That one just out of bounds off the hands of Logan Weber.
Looking for the roof, but just missing a few tiles there.
Spanish or composite? Which one are you talking about there? Spanish. Don't walk on those. They crack easily.
There's a story there, and I'm not even going to ask about it.
That's actually true. It's a little DIY knowledge for you. We haven't had Try Born yet. We could talk to Gabby. We'll have Gabby out here for a little DIY session. Scoop option not taken. Phil right in front. This will be Avery. Can't keep it on his side. Logan Weber swatted back. Hit by Phil, who is still ultra capable.
Yeah, no joke. He just set himself off that block.
Yeah, Phil said he's not playing as much as he used to, but he's still very much in touch with the game with all the practices that he runs. And he said, I can just rely on the reps that I've had to come out and play. Still in terrific shape.
It was great. We saw him on Thursday during the qualifier, and they were getting out on the sand. I said, do you really need to get out there? He goes, I don't know. I'm going to do the slow walk to stadium and see what happens.
Phil, another video game guy. We had Kelly Chang on here, huge into video games. Phil, for a long time, it was volley on the road and playing Halo during downtime.
I do remember that. Fun fact, Cameron played a lot of Halo.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, you're kind of deadly on Halo? Are you good?
It's a weird random fact.
No. Did you ever try Fortnite?
Can't wait to see the DMs now.
You should get into Fortnite. We're going to have Jake Dietrich on here. He's a paralegal for Riot Games, and they make Valorant and some other very capable titles.
It was just a forum to talk trash, really.
Yeah. It is a forum to talk trash. All right, 16-15, Dalhausser and Drost. This has been back and forth. Neither team really able to extend a lead here in set number 1. Kevin Barnett alongside Cameron Irwin courtside on a Saturday, tipping towards midday. Ball a little bit tight, and Phil did not get in front of it. Hagen Smith going back to his days in Westwood.
That was a fun swing if I've ever seen one.
16 all.
Hagen doing such a nice job in terms of his approach. Watch these last 2 steps, and he goes completely vertical here. No broad jumping, allowing to really maximize those last and final 2 steps.
Yeah, Phil left him a lot of room. Hagen underneath that one, but not the second time. Phil chipping off of Logan.
What's crazy is that joust is taking place above the candy canes.
That's some rarefied air. Avery Drost to serve. Former coach at Miracosta, no longer coaching the high school ranks.
Yeah, he's actually serving more as a youth pastor now.
Yeah, doing some things on the side, keep stuff going as that ball will be called. So the coaching, he really enjoyed it, but the amount of time it was taking up when he now has 3 kids was just too much. And I think you get to that point in your life where you have a family, you have responsibilities, you can't spend a lot of time on things that don't pay that well, no matter how much you love them. There are some hard economic realities of building a family.
Yeah, he's got 7, 5, and 15 months. Back at home?
Yeah, welcome to busy time. This is an escape for Avery. Come out and play a little volleyball.
This duo has always been so complimentary of one of their biggest sponsors, Wedbush. He's rocking it across his chest right now.
Dalhausser Drost trying to hang on the 2-point advantage. Phil on 2.
I thought I was getting in the game.
Game ball.
I was ready. A nice gentleman to my left had a really nice one-hand stab, though.
It's the same guy that brought you a chair.
I told you he was a nice guy.
Yeah, gentleman. Oh no. Mark Sherman between sets has a little promotion going. Cameron Irwin. Is that the word? Is that the word from the truck?
I think there might be a limbo in store, and I'm a little concerned about my spine and my flexibility.
19-18 as Cameron Irwin preps her quads and hammies.
I had to, dude, I lost my volleyball career because of a spinal injury. I'm getting real nervous. I gotta go full limp noodle here.
The shutdown stop. It's 19-19, first to 2. It's set number 1.
19 apiece. Touch by Weber. This will have to go. Turn, burn, point for the youngsters.
Yeah, and making a big play there with the advantage. The height differential is Avery Drost is the one up at the net, making it a little bit more difficult in terms of getting Phil Dalhausser in the backcourt. Check this out. There's the full reach. Trying to dive in is Avery Drost. I don't know if there's a block big enough beyond Phil's against Weber. I don't know, Mark. I'm getting a little nervous, to be quite frank with you. Is this limbo? Is this what we're doing?
This is limbo. And
Really?
Your
Limbo?
opponents may have a distinct advantage over the two of you.
Beyond flexibility?
Beyond flexibility.
And youth?
Yeah, exactly. Probably also more flexible than the three of us right now. I'm glad I'm not doing it. I'm glad I'm holding the bat.
Oh, wait, this is Dizzy Bat? Or is this...
No, we're just using
Oh,
Dizzy Bat
I was going to say...
Okay, if it's Dizzy Bat, I'm out. I'm out
we all
immediately.
know who's winning Dizzy Bat if that's the case. We've been there, done that.
0% chance I play Dizzy Bat today, Mark. Sorry.
I mean,
About a 70% chance Smith and Weber take set number 1 here, Cameron. We're in 20-19 coming out of the timeout.
also got to give Lou a little love here. Our A2 getting us ready to roll for our competition between sets.
Lou, can I get a little less Cameron, please? She's quite loud.
Big moment here, though, for Dalhausser, Drost, Smith, and Weber.
Smith and Weber, they got set point 2019. That one gets through. Big swing, Avery Drost. We're going into overtime.
I like that. Imagine having Phil Dalhausser in your box in a moment like that and understanding, one, you're going to be getting a really nice set, one of the best setters in the game, but also the fact that he probably knows exactly what a defensive alignment is going to be on the opposite side.
I also like the courage to just take a cut. Avery got a piece of it, but not enough.
I like the chase there from Avery. Drost back to set point. The second now for Smith and Weber.
Do you throw in a Phil just to make sure he's awake? Make Avery set?
No, I'm going back to Avery.
Okay. Yep, going short to Avery right there. He'll scoop it out of the sand for Phil. And this time another high swing, working on that line again. Field goal through the hands of Weber.
An interesting decision too, right? Usually with that short serve, you think, ooh, that's going to spell some trouble because you can send that up for the big man, Phil Dalhausser, on that first contact. But a little low on the set, just feeding Avery here, giving him the chance to score.
Phil back to serve 21 all.
This is reminiscent to what we saw from Phil and Avery in their previous matchup. That first set was extended.
There's the push on two you were talking about. That from Hagen Smith to Logan Weber. The similarities here are striking with Weber and Phil at the net.
See the hitting errors. Dalhausser, Drost with 4, Smith and Weber 0.
Good tough serve on Avery. Cross court, Smith with the dig. Here comes a chance. Converted on the second chance. No, it is just wide.
You just saw another spike to spike.
Spike to spike. Richard Hoff's favorite play. Oh, that is clearly out, and such a bummer. Quick reaction from Logan Weber. All right, deuces wild here in set number 1.
Avery clearing the tarmac for takeoff from the service line.
Phil with the touch, turn, can he get a swing? Yes, Avery in transition, 23, they take the advantage.
What a play. Come on now, Phil Dalhausser. Getting the touch block, turning, finding that ball, the soft platform. A little lip on that set. And an open net. Phil Dalhausser, always just leveling up. But check this out. There's that scoop and turn. And that's one of the best feelings in the world. Open net for Avery Drost.
Timeout quickly called by Weber and Smith. Cameron, what are you seeing here?
Well, I always just think back to the days Phil playing alongside Nick. What did those boxes look like? How much communication was really taking place? But it's always fun to see just some of that subtle conversation, figuring out exactly how they want to come back out of this timeout. Now, finally with a set point on their side.
All right, it is Survival Saturdays. Look at the contenders bracket there. Some interesting results. Dietrich and Tucker won their first one. They'll get Hoppy and Shaw, who started out strong in this season. Berkey and Wilcox, a thriller. They'll get Evan Corey and Alisson.
That'll be a heck of a matchup. Think about the block there. Alisson, one of the best blockers to ever play the game.
Legendary Team TNT will get David Lee and Jake Urita.
23-22, first set point coming for Dalhausser and Drost.
If you want to come down to the beer garden, it's a good place to be. It is, yeah, it's almost noon. You're fine. You're fine. Don't let anyone judge you. It's late on the East Coast.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, don't get judged. Here we are. Dalhausser and Drost serving for the set. On 2 option. Phil all over it, and it is just out. The second time this set has almost been closed.
23-23.
I want to see a match where Phil doesn't jump when he blocks. Just because that was almost reminiscent. Those toes were still somewhat dangling along the sand. Just to see how many balls he can still block.
Trying to maintain the advantage here. Phil lets that one go. Caught a lot of wind. It was an updraft right there.
What, from the oohs and ahs from the crowd after that one?
Set point number 2. Phil at the line. He'll float and run to the net. Another on 2 option taken and put right to the back line.
1 point inside switch.
High formation. Tough to know exactly where to go on those on 2s.
Well, they keep doing that. Every time Phil serves, they're just going as quickly as possible. That not only was on 2, but he's shooting it up to the net. A little more pace than I think you normally see.
Trying to beat Phil up to the block. There's that ball to Phil you were talking about.
Yeah, making sure he's still awake. They got a piece of that one. Phil jump set. Hagen underneath that. Yes, it stays alive. Logan resets. Check down. Hagen. To go up. Yes!
Just listen to that noise. What an epic rally. Hagen Smith, Logan Weber. What a scramble play. Getting themselves back with the advantage. Another set point on their side.
That is definitely the Wilson play of the day right there, happening before noon. What a read by Hagen Smith. 2 in a row and followed by a pull. 1 clay pigeon killed and another opportunity to close this out.
Somehow getting around.
How about that swing? There was not a whole lot of room to work with. Avery Drost bringing that back down the line.
25 all in our never-ending men's match here on Stadium Court. Kevin Barnett alongside Cameron Irwin. Day 2 of coverage from this AVP Heritage event in Huntington Beach. Just north of the pier, DJ Roche keeping the fans pumped. 3 courts of action available for you right now. That ball served down the middle. We are tied. Logan Weber thrown back by Phil Dalhausser, and the advantage goes to Phil and Avery.
You talk about experience. What a read from Phil Dalhausser on the block. He delayed that block, recognizing the set, well pulled off the net, and comes away with a nice little stuffy. He even shoved it outside the reach of the recycle play from Hagen Smith.
Another set point opportunity. Avery at the line. Into the wind. Here comes the jumper. Riding up on Weber. Nobody up. Phil with the dig. For the set win. Yes, it finds the sand.
The block, the dig, the kill. It's Phil for the win in set number 1, 27-25.
A little extra time here in set 1, Cameron.
Gotta love it. Phil Dalhausser, Avery Drost picking up a big first set. And I think, Kevin, that's your cue.
Come on, Cam.
Oh, golly.
I think we're out here on Stadium.
Kev, we spent too many years doing this.
All right, hang on. What up, Messi? How you doing, bud? I almost wore that same shirt, you know. It would have been weird if we were like twinning out here, wouldn't it? Would have been so strange. Who's going to win this? Who feels confident? Raise your hand. Anyone?
Yes,
Anyone?
it is time
Who's
for
sisters
the
here?
limbo.
No, just friends?
We have got 5
Don't know each other at all?
contestants
Okay.
out here. Wait, I think we've
guys
got
can see yourself
7
right up there.
contestants out here, actually. Are you doing this, Kevin?
No.
No, you're not?
No.
You're
I
not
got a
doing the
special
limbo?
plan for Messi, though, here. He's going to do well.
Oh, my gosh. Okay,
Yeah.
I love it. Cameron, are you in on this?
This is the limbo.
Yeah.
I don't know if my back bends that way anymore.
Oh,
man.
yeah, it does. You're in. What's your name?
Blake,
Blake.
Micah,
Micah.
Jordan,
Are you nervous, Jordan?
yes,
Just a little bit. And?
Taylor,
And?
Layla.
All right, let's do this. Here we go. Me and Max have the bat. Let's see. Where should we set it? We've got. You're playing. You're in this, Kevin. You're in this one.
Okay.
Round 1. Here we go. Round 1 of the limbo. Let's do this. Way to make it through round 1, Kevin. Come
I
on
think
through.
this is time for me just to hand over this mic. Maybe this guy.
Cameron, are you in on this?
You're live, man. Go for it, Avery.
Blake, Micah, be sure you bend your knees when you go
Cameron,
under,
are you
okay?
in?
Bend, yeah, there you go, like that. Good job.
There we go. Here we go. Round 2.
Okay, you got that,
Let's
guys.
do this. Beautiful.
Okay, Bug. Hey, dig a little channel in the sand. Get a little extra low. That's my guy. That's my guy.
Kevin's out.
I'm not even going to try to attempt this.
Oh! I wish we would have cut your hair a little bit. Oh, nice job.
Yes, here we go. Round
My
3.
knees hurt
We got to finish
so
off
much
round
watching
3
this.
here. Very nice. Yes. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, here we go. All 5 are through to round number 4. Oh,
So what you all
We're gonna
might
give it
not
to her.
know is those are actually
With the
Avery's
assist from
yes!
Ken, yeah.
wow, that is incredible. Here we go. She's like, that is not fair. Oh, but you know what? I think the knee touched in the last sec. You're like, yes, it did. Very good. We made it. Did we make it? Here we go. All right, here we go. We got to get Rio for round 4. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. I guess that's good. Kevin can do whatever he wants. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I think you're down. You know what? This got weird. It got awkward, but it's great. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Great job. Fantastic job. Here we go. All of you are going to help me out a
Cam,
little
you
bit
should've
later. By the
played.
way,
That was
we're
my
going to throw
plan for
mini
you.
balls
Yeah.
into the crowd at the technical
make it
timeout.
past the
Yeah,
first
it's
round,
coming.
Kev.
It's happening.
Fun fact, though, those were actually Avery's kids.
27-25 in the first. Dalhausser and Drost.
That's why it was a perfect play-by-play.
I love it.
Amazing. And now you get to make everybody else happy.
Come on out to the
Technical
AVP
timeout
and see
by
us
throwing mini
on one of
balls into
our
the crowd. You like
Heritage
that?
Weekends.
Yes.
We have a lot more action to come in Manhattan Beach following the Olympic Games, and then we're going to be in Chicago. Looking forward to that.
Can't wait to head off to Chicago, one of the best sporting cities in the world.
The best, maybe. Yeah, the best. All right, what do you have in the second set, Cam? I mean, dead even in the first. Nice dig by Hagen. And shot over the top for the winner there.
First kill here in set number 2, 1-0.
I think it's going to be interesting to see just how far Avery's going to go in terms of his side-out ability, what adjustments Weber's going to make. There were a few balls that went down the line. He left him just a bit of line to work with in set 1, and Avery even discussed it. How far is Weber kind of going to dive into that angle, and how much space will he have back down the line?
Yeah, that's a good point because he got him in the angle a couple times early.
Yes, Phil, come on, let's go. Come on.
We always talk about Phil Dalhausser. Previously, set 2 is typically when he'll look to find more of the on-2 game. So I'll be curious to see how much he utilizes that here in set 2.
In their opening match, too, they played a tight first set and then got away a little in the second. Still the on-2 game very strong for Smith and Weber, as is the chest bump.
And something else to pay attention to, the last 2 on-2s from Weber have actually gone back across court, back to the line. as he's pulled that. Be curious to see if they switch up the defensive alignment. Maybe sending Avery back as the down defender.
Nice short serve. Phil pulls it out of the net. Opportunity here for a turn. Phil in front of it instead. And pancakes do not work too well on the beach.
It's got to be brutal when a ball is set tight and your blocker is Phil Dalhausser on the opposition, because you're just looking up at a pair of hands directly ahead of you.
If you were with us yesterday, you saw how Troy Field might deal with it. He'll just go roundhouse to the sky and try and hit it off you. Troy Field going to be in action later alongside Timmy Baumgren. It's a flashback to the past, TNT. Oh, speaking of Timmy Baumgren, there he is down here on the stadium court. It's the beauty of this sport, really, Cam. The access to the athletes is unparalleled.
I mean, think about who we've already talked to. I just handed the mic off to Avery. We talked to Phil mid-match, and we got a chance to catch up with Sarah Hughes and Kelly Chang.
Practicing for their 4 o'clock match and hoping to move on to Championship Sunday. 3-2 here, second set. What was an exciting and tightly contested first set. Now an ace by Smith. Puts it right down the middle and holds the hand up like he's Michael Jordan against the Utah Jazz.
A lot of topspin on that serve, too. That thing just diving back down to the sand. I love this type of a serve, too. Just those last 2 steps, instead of really having that step into the serve, just elevating from the back line and cuffing around the edge of the ball. That thing
ball
gets on
passed
you.
poorly. Phil runs it down. He got all the way there. The play will continue. Do you go on to Hagen? No, not quite the right opportunity there. Net violation will end what could have continued with Phil on defense. You love Phil on defense, don't you?
I do love Phil on defense. Hey, Phil's got a title, split blocking.
Andy Benish.
Andy Benish. That might be one of my all-time favorite moments in the AVP. In the last, I guess this is year 7 for me.
I remember he and Nick split blocking quite a bit in the final in Chicago, 2017. That one put right through the uprights of Logan Weber. Cam, you got the game ball. Good job.
I did. I didn't want to return it, to be quite frank with you. It happens. But how about this view, man? I think we should just stay down here the rest of the day.
I think so. Yeah, here we are courtside. This is our little spot we've carved out. We've stolen enough chairs to remain. Got DeFrito Media here doing a little bit of work. He's currently texting, but normally he's taking beautiful photographs.
Oh, man. One of the best photographers and videographers in the game, Frito. Should see his Clipper stuff, let alone his AVP stuff.
That ball thrown back again by Phil. Man, the level that he is still at is remarkable. Really glad he's still here. Kind of like April and Alex. He's here on his own terms. He's here because he wants to be here. He's not here because he has to be or is driving towards some other goal. He's here because he wants to keep playing, stay in touch with the game.
You know, I think it's true of all of these athletes. You don't play this sport unless you absolutely live and breathe it. You have to love every minute of it. And I think right now, at this stage for Phil Dalhausser, he really gets to focus on the enjoyment of this game.
Oh, that crawler is going to go all the way to our referee's stand. We saw a couple of crawlers in our last match that went over. That one just right along the cable like a caterpillar. And I don't mean what's on Troy Field's lip.
Okay, the real question is whose stash is better, Sander or Field?
I mean, come on, vote for Pedro. Hard to beat that. Ripper just wide. Another point, Dalhausser and Drost. Pardon me, Frost and Drost, if you're wondering at home.
Also, important to note, it's time to put on your weatherman hat because
the sun's out?
The sun is officially out. It just increased by about 10 degrees.
Yeah, welcome to the beach.
Time to throw in the swimsuit.
Summer almost appearing here in Southern California, where it's been a long, sleepy, rainy winter.
Another long match here.
So we talked about what the schedule holds, and this weekend is Huntington Beach. We've mentioned Chicago and Manhattan Beach. Now the contenders events are important. They're going to feed into the heritage events, which then feed into the league. So you're going to see Denver and Wapaka, the boat ride, play a rather important role. And then Virginia Beach before we get to league play, which is going to be huge, the brand new look for AVP.
I cannot wait for the league to come about. It's going to be so fun to see the top 8 men's and women's teams in action. And of course, come November as well, you're going to get a chance to see the championships. And here's how the league works in 2024. This has been never done on the AVP. We're changing things up and really creating a path for these athletes, for these pro volleyball players.
The best beach volleyball.
Something to fight for through the entirety of the season. You win one of these heritage events, you are into the mix. That is probably the best and easiest way to get in, but everyone wants to seal the deal.
Automatically into the draft for the AVP League. There will be a draft. You'll have multiple cities featuring teams. We'll have 8 weeks of regular season play, followed by a 9th championship weekend with the top 4 of the 8 clubs. It will be the best beach volleyball possible. So someone is going to guarantee themselves a fall of paychecks here in Huntington Beach. And you got to get through Survival Saturday if you're in the contenders bracket, as these two teams are. Kevin Barnett and Cameron Irwin taking you through. We'll have Rich Lamborn in a little bit, and we will find out. Get to tonight. Our semifinals will be taking shape as Phil shapes his hands for another stuff.
A little Philly special there. You see that Selly too?
Was BDN here? I didn't see Nick Foles anywhere.
I like the reference.
Philly fans got it. All right, 7-5. Dalhausser and Drost trying to make a little move here. Nobody got away in the first. No one's gotten away early here in the second. That ball will be called, and this is probably the first 3-point lead we've seen in this match. Okay, what do you do right now? I mean, I'm going to serve tough if I'm Avery Drost, but what do you do on this side, Cameron, if you're Logan Weber and Hagen Smith?
I think right now the main focus has got to be that first contact. Hagen is going to be really solid. Maybe they work behind, actually. Maybe Hagen passes and works to the left. They go Weber.
That ball just off the outstretched hands of Phil. The winner of this one will get the winner of Baumgren Field, Lee and Arudia. So they'll be right back. That same turn, right? You're going to have to win a match, go cycle down, get a little food probably midday here, refuel, stretch out, and put yourself right back.
Midday? I even just saw coaches running the box with bananas and all sorts of fruit snacks. In that direction, they're already ready for snack time.
I need some fruit snacks. Didn't you say you were bringing Capri Suns? What happened to that?
The orange slices.
Yeah, I know. Your backpack had rocks in it this morning instead. That ball off the net and out. Phil hitting error, and right away, as we thought it was going to extend in this match, well, now we're right back to 8-7.
When it looked like just a little bit of a different tempo from Phil on the jump itself, because he kind of hung up at the top, waiting to see exactly where the block was going to form, and he let that ball drop just a bit too far. We're actually making contact. Showing a little frustration as Logan Weber right there.
I think that's seeping in with those 2 points earlier. Got to be careful not to let that take hold of you, right?
Well, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. The score is only 9-7. But I do have to admit, I do like the little edge that Smith and Weber play with. The expectations are always there. Expected to make the play, no matter how difficult. Reminds me back to that wild play in the first set.
And Hagen, too, dynamic and will play to the crowd. A little flex there for everybody.
It's like watching somebody play wall ball in the recess.
I like how Mark introduced him and said, I know that's not your dad's hair. So that would mean that that is then Patty's hair. So he just introduced him by saying, you got your mom's hair. What are you doing, Mark? All right. Patty Smith's hair back to serve. It's always good to hear that in the crowd, right, after a play.
Ooh. Makes you want to do it all over again.
Avery's going to clear the runway here, do a little sand work.
Hey, last time he did that too, it actually worked out in his favor.
I like to smooth it out. I like that to be part of the routine playing beach. Smooth out that station, see if a good takeoff.
Heads up, Frito.
There's that battle at the top of the candy cane again.
So for viewers at home, what do you think that contact point is? How high above the ground?
I'm going with about 10-9, 10-10 out of the sand, which is pretty gnarly. You figure most of international beach volleyball is played around 11.5 feet. And yes, guys touch 12 feet and so on. They're even still pretty exceptional, but they're not going to contact the ball that high all the time. But these kind of battles going on at pushing 11 feet on the sand is otherworldly. And I think that's what's so exciting about watching a Logan Weber talk to Sinjit Smith yesterday. And he said, man, the sky's the limit for this kid.
Literally the sky.
Yeah, but Logan Weber has so much potential left in this game. And you think, well, Logan Weber's been around for 6-7 years. We watched him here on the AVP. But for a beach volleyball athlete, as you see across the net from him, Phil, well over 40. Phil still playing at a high level. Logan Weber, stay healthy, stay at it, keep refining your game. You're only at the midpoint, man. It's only up from here.
We're going to take our technical time.
And I like that swing too, kind of recognizing Phil coming wide on that block and then last second trying to close the top of it. It's a nice job from Weber attacking just straight through the seam. See all sorts of different types of blocks out here on the AVP.
Mark Sherman back for another appearance on Stadium, giving out some mini balls. We've been talking a lot about Phil Dalhausser and his remarkable career. 4-time Olympian, that gold medal in Beijing in 2008 alongside the professor, Todd Rogers. 8-time AVP Offensive Player of the Year. Those are his AVP honors. Got a host of international honors to go with it. You're talking about more than 100, well, actually I take it back, right at 100 victories in his illustrious first ballot Hall of Fame effort in this game.
I mean, that's just an incredible resume. No wonder he's considered one of the greatest to have ever played this sport, and so fun to see him playing free and loose at this stage in his career.
I remember being down here about 2015 watching, and just watching peak Phil, completely unstoppable. I mean, you see it here occasionally. He's still unstoppable times. Every time he touched the ball in attack, it wasn't even close.
What was one of your favorite Phil Dalhausser matches you've called on the AVP?
Interesting question. Trying to think back to like a Saturday night. There was one Saturday night, I think it was here in Huntington, as a matter of fact. Who was their opponent that
I believe
night?
It was Jake Taylor.
That's right.
Phil and
Jake
Nick.
and Taylor, Phil and Nick were doing battle over and over again in that year, right? They were meeting in semis and then coming back to finals. That Saturday night here in Huntington, that sticks with me. And you know what else from those matchups sticks with me? Is when Nick Lucena, I think it was, took his shirt off. And then Taylor Crabb took his shirt off. And I think Nick put his shirt back on. Much to the crowd's delight.
Yeah, I remember asking Phil who had the better abs, Nick or Taylor. He said he got to go with his guy, Nick.
Nick Lucena now assistant coaching for his wife Brooke Niles down there at Florida State. Saw him last year for the 6-man out on the beach. Good to see Nick catch up a little bit last summer. That ball is missed, and we stay tight here on the technical. 12-11, second set action. It took a long time, and Smith and Weber had a really good chance to close out. Multiple chances, but one very close opportunity to close out that first set. It ended up going the way of Dalhausser and Drost. Avery scooping that one out and then putting it in the corner. Boy, that is a technical side out by Avery Drost. They'll go in jumper into the wind, right down the middle. Weber will go right side. Avery well off the net. That's a winner.
Avery adding to his stat line now.
And they're back to +3, looking for +4 for the first time in this match.
Avery's had 36 total attempts in this match with 20 kills. He's not just in double-digit kills. He's all the way up to 20, as is Weber.
You better work on your physical fitness if you're playing with Phil.
Weber, 36 attempts. They actually have identical in terms of attempts and kills, but there are a handful more errors on the side of Weber. 7 in total from an attacking standpoint.
Phil throws another back. Is it far enough? Not yet. Do you go on 2? No, you just set Phil on 3. Good night now.
Dalhausser Drost out by 4. Their biggest lead of the match is 15-11.
Dalhausser hitting well above the 400 mark. Avery also nearing the 500 mark. He's at 472.
I think you call a timeout right now. I mean, you're doing a little sand action here. This is smart by Weber and Smith. This is a delay without using your timeout. And that's fine. Looking for 5. Already the largest lead of this match. Dalhausser, jump serve. Right through the hands.
Almost looked like a no look. He just turned around before he even made contact with that ball.
Okay. The no looky cookie.
Little style points on that one for Weber.
15-12. Set 2.
You know they actually
win
give
or go
out,
home.
You know they actually give out style points in professional wakeboarding.
That seems like a thing you would do and not a sport.
I was just thinking it's funny. It's like you got to look at the judges and make sure you got somebody that's a friend in there.
Yeah, does the Russian judge consistently give you bad scores? Does that also happen there? Or maybe it's the French judge that got paid off? How's it working in wakeboarding?
I have no idea, but maybe we'll start giving out some style points here.
What else? If there's professional wakeboarding, what else can we do professionally that's actually just a hobby?
Uh-oh.
All right,
Can't wait to see the chat after this one.
All those wakeboarders out there getting mad. Weber, yes, beautifully done from a high point. Utilizing the wind that's coming in that northwest corner of the stadium. Pretty steady already here at 12:15. We had sun earlier than yesterday. We have wind earlier than yesterday. That will certainly play a role both in stadium and outside. Although interestingly, at every venue there's always a different configuration for the outer courts as Phil goes on 2. And here, the outer courts are actually tucked behind the VIP grandstand, so it might not be as windy out there as it sometimes is in those outer courts when they're on the wind side of the stadium. But it is humming a little bit, so good advantage here for Smith and Weber as they try and get back in the second set and extend this match to a 3rd.
It's like a sprint to beat Phil to the net each time. And actually, that's been the case for both of these blockers. We're starting to see the on-2 even on the side of Drost and Dalhausser.
I love watching Hagen. College, too. Just so dynamic and aggressive and fun, entertainer. Some of that old school AVP in him.
I 100% agree.
He could be here or WWE. His choice.
How about that little scoopy? Interesting contact there from Avery.
Got it right on the end.
You have a name for that one?
For the scoop?
What is that, a starfish?
14.
This one? It's not a gator quite. It's just both heels of your hands.
I'll tell you one thing. No one sets the ball better while falling down. Better than Phil.
Nice shot by Weber, again giving direction and pace to the ball off the outstretched hands of Phil Dalhausser. 0% chance to get that one on the dig. They have some work to do, and it's got to happen now. Trailing by 3, you have to do it on this service, I think. I think you have to score 2 points right now.
Really nice management there of the set for Phil Dalhausser. With the wind at the back, that ball could have easily pushed a little bit too tight. And you got to be wary with Weber's block up there. It's very, very big, and it's causing some problems for Avery. But so far, with a set like that, Avery has multiple options in terms of where his attack goes. Well-placed set, Phil Dalhausser.
Excellent read by Avery Drost. Oh, and the crawler stays on his side. The cable is not in his favor.
Point to the net, man. Those are brutal because you have to sit there and wait and watch. That's no fun.
Little check down, looked for it, and just couldn't get that sphere over the steel cable.
It's like two Mississippis of pain.
Timmy Baum.
Timmy Baum.
Next match coming up. You ready?
I am so ready. That's what I'm supposed to say, right? Okay.
Even if it's not true.
Oh, it's true though. Let's rock and roll.
All right, we're about to close this one. You can get started. Weber with the throwdown. There's one. 19-17.
17-19.
They're going to take a timeout here. Phil and Avery slowing things down.
Smart move. I like the early timeout here.
2 to go. 19-17. Avery and Phil still with the lead. They'll take their team timeout though.
Outer court action still taking place. Capers and Muno look like they have just wrapped things up over Sowers and Kinning.
Keena, that's correct.
Yep. And then Whitmarsh and Newberry. That's Whitberry against Flint and Scholes.
Oh, man, that's going to be a really good match.
Yeah, that one just underway. Denneberg and Kraft, who you saw if you were with us earlier, they're going to take on Rodriguez and Urango in the next match on the outer courts. As we continue with Survival Saturday, you got to make it through 3 matches today, in many cases, for the folks that lost one yesterday in order to make Sunday.
On stadium courts 1 and 2.
Different paths right now, Cam. We're getting into different paths to Saturday night, in that some of the players that lost in the second round yesterday are now in action in that contenders bracket. Look at that contenders bracket on the women's side. Of course, Kleiman and Ross coming up against Simo and Van Winkle. That's going to be a very interesting match.
Yeah, I'm always a big fan of Savvy Simo and Abby Van Winkle. Another Bruin combination getting back together. But Savvy Simo, she just seems like she plays like a veteran on the AVP. Just such really, well, we'll say really great management, not just on the on-court stuff, but the off-court stuff.
You mean the barrel racing and the roping? Here we go, 19-17. That ball tattooed down the line. Again, Drost finding the line late.
I mean, that's been the exact shot that Weber is giving him, just kind of waiting and diving back into that angle. Really nice job, Avery, in terms of recognizing the block.
1 point away here. We'll try and catch Phil Dalhausser right after this match for you. I'll hustle over. Match point, Dalhausser and Drost. Looking to stay alive. And that error will do it. So the pressure late gets to Smith and Weber. That final one wide will have Dalhausser and Drost moving on.
Moving on, they'll have one more match here on Survival Saturday.
Handshakes all around as Phil Dalhausser's Saturday will continue in his journey here in Huntington Beach. We'll talk with the future of the AVP there in Hagen-Smith as we update the brackets. Dalhausser and Drost will head to the players' tent, get some food, stretch out, and try and be ready for Baumgren Field. Lee Uriata, who are coming up next here on Stadium. Dietrich and Tucker, Hoppy and Shaw. And the UCSB boys staying alive. We'll see if they can defeat one of the all-time legends in beach volleyball, Alisson, alongside Evan Corey.
Coming up in about 10 minutes.
Kev, I was thinking about maybe rock, paper, scissoring in order to see who got this post game. I'll hand it over to you.
Really? Okay.
I'll give you the win.
Let's see if we can grab Phil here. Hagen, nice plan.
Hagen, use your legs more. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious.
Phil, giving out advice here. What was that conversation like with Hagen just now?
Well, he didn't like me bugging the ref about his hands. But, you know, I'm 44. I need every edge I could get. And I think I talked him into a couple of hands calls.
Now, you're getting out here and enjoying another day in Huntington. This seems to be on your own terms. Is it a different approach for you these days?
Yeah, you know, the pressure's off. I'm just out here to have a little, some fun. And, yeah, it's kind of freeing.
Okay, how does that change the dynamic with your partner, Avery?
Well, I think sometimes for me, I get a little too lackadaisical or whatever, and I need to be a little more intense. and Avery helps me out with that.
Okay, so you're just relaxed, feeling the flow. What does it look like now as you continue in the contenders? One more to go today. What are you going to do in between?
Probably grab some food, watch these guys battle it out, and good luck to each team.
All right, the other statements, Phil Dalhausser moving on to the next round.